Greg was killed October the 5th of 1996.
And for the next 16 years, it became Jonesville's most vexing mystery.
I think that one day that we will solve this case.
But days soon became years.
We've learned not to get excited about leads in any case.
It comes down to we're just waiting for that one magic phone call. We're following up all the leads that come in, but we're all hoping for that one magic call.
As Sergeant Martin's family suffered through years with no answers.
This pain no one should ever have to feel.
The officers investigating his death had their own pain. Explain why it's different when it's an officer.
It's a family, it's like a family. And if you didn't know his family, you will know his family, and you'll grieve with them.
And there was nothing to begin the healing until they found Martin's murderers.
It took a lot of manpower. Of course, it was a murder of a brother police officer, so everybody wanted to solve it.
Why did this one take so long?
If you want to hear my personal opinion, that sometimes you can't open those doors, you can't get over that wall because God above has not allowed you to do that at the time. I'm a man of faith. In this case here, when everything came together, every piece of evidence that we'd collected started making sense, and all the pieces of the puzzle went together quickly.
They had so little to begin with. They didn't even know who Martin had stopped that night.
He never called in a driver's license, per se, like a normal vehicle stop. I can't say whether they had ID or not that night. I'm not exactly sure, but he never called in a driver's license or a name.
In the end, the key was a key to one of the trucks the killers were believed to have been in that night. That led Lloyd Terry to interview a man named Brian Whitaker.
And I've interviewed a lot of people in hundreds of homicides, and my prayer was, Lord, don't let me do anything wrong, because this could be it. This could be what we really need.
It was actually, I think it was October 3rd or October 4th was the day that they told the family. They called us to the Yakinville courthouse, and it'd been quiet for a while. Wasn't expecting nothing. I figured they was going to tell us the case was closed. And Roger Reese has us in a conference room. He looks around and he says, now, I don't want nobody to pass out, but we are pretty sure with about a 99% accuracy, we've got the killer, and we're en route to get him.
Then, right on the anniversary of Greg Martin's death.
Wow, 16 years, and we got him.
They looked like they had an answer.
Everybody's mouth hung open, and nobody really could believe the words because we had waited so long.
At trial, Whitaker laid out the story of how the other man with him that night, Scott Sika, panicked when Martin stopped them, and that Sika was the one who shot him. Both pled guilty in 2014 and were sentenced to life in prison.
Greg got his justice. Greg's family got their justice, and I got my closure.
So you feel like you've learned the real story that night?
Truthfully, there's a lot of things about this case that haven't come to my knowledge, and I think it's for the best. There's a lot of details that I know a lot of the officers have kind of glided over and not gave me the full play-by-play, detail by detail, even though I've asked them, begged them, borrowed and pleaded and begged them to tell me. They knew it was in my best interest not to.
To not spend a lifetime wondering how a father feels as he is dying. Have you ever thought about what was going through his mind in those moments?
A lot of times that's why I don't sleep. Why Dad didn't ask for help immediately. The actual radio transmission, I wanted to hear it. And they said it was best I didn't hear it. It's best I just leave it be.
It was hard listening, but we know what happened. We went 16 years and not knowing exactly what had happened, and now we know. Doesn't make it any easier, but we're finally starting to get some answers.